right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the MCL podcast. It's episode 4 now. I'm DOD J4, the leader of the DOD clan, and together with me, I have DOD Kries as every week. And we are missing DOD Godskull this week because of baby issues. His baby's teething, so there's not much sleep going on. We were actually supposed to have Keen regulate on the podcast this week. However, there were power outages, so he had to cancel last minute, but maybe for next week. All right, Kries. End of
Baby.
groups. MCL. We have made it to the end of the group stage.
It
What do you
has
think?
been a ride. It has been a ride. I think, yeah, groups went very well. I'm glad it's over. I think the tiredness had befallen some of the teams at the end. Especially, I think for Group D, it was more tight than for the other groups due
Yeah.
to them having more teams. Right? They had 7 teams in the group, so they had to play more games per week as the other groups. And I think, yeah, for some, it really showed that it was like, oh, another schedule, another game every week. There is no rest for the wicked. But now we are here,
Yeah.
and the results are there, and they're
On
final.
the bright side, though, if we look at the scheduling, we see that out of 66 games, this is a long tournament. It's a very long tournament. There were only 4 that ended in an administrative decision. That's kind of
That's actually
insane, right?
amazing. Yeah,
That,
that's insane. I think if you would go back to the older years of AOM and you would go to, like, the classic RTSL, you'd have much more like admin wins or issues with
yeah,
scheduling than
exactly.
than than before. So I think this is a very good start for a new age tournament.
I think it shows really that everybody was super enthusiastic. We have to thank all of the team captains. On the screen, you see a list of all the team captains that have really done an amazing job at scheduling. Even where, like Chris says, like in the end, once you kind of know who is gonna pass through to the quarterfinals, there is some kind of course, tiredness. It's been a while, etc. But still, everybody was scheduling. Even when they knew they would not pass to the playoffs, they kept scheduling, they kept playing, they kept enjoying the tournament, and this was really amazing to see. That's how it indeed should work. So an amazing job. Thank you all for doing a tremendously good job in this first team game, S tier team game tournament. Hopefully, we can repeat this in the next season too. So the tournament kind of went without any issues, I think, so far. Well, there were a few, but relatively minor issues. Lately, we had the DoD versus EVS thing, which was not really DoD versus EVS. It was more that some things we had to get straight, right, Chris?
It's Yeah, I think a lot of people don't really realize, but because this is also an S tier tournament, and I think the team captains especially know because they're the ones who have also read the rule book, right? And I think that is the kind of statement that we want to put down, especially when it comes to sportsmanship, not only in this tournament, but in general for every tournament that is yet to come and every tournament that should be played. I think it's hard to see the frame if you're in the picture, right? If you're
Yeah.
and I think you need to zoom out on that and see that some rules need to be taken very strict, um in just to retain all the sportsmanship and make sure that everyone always feels comfortable, making sure that no rules at any point can be it's legally or morally gray. And I think in that aspect we need to be tough but fair.
Yeah.
Um,
Which is what
so
we
yeah, I
try to
think
do as much as
sportsmanship is
possible, right?
yeah
I mean, We want the tournament to
Yeah,
succeed,
it's
right?
not always easy.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
think everyone does, right? So
exactly. It's it is it has so far been a very nice tournament, and we also see that constantly. We see it on Twitch or in our DMs where people are sending like they have been brought to the game, they like the tournament, they were missing team games, etc., etc. So that's really that's something that is really amazing to see. Maybe if we go now to the group stages and we see what actually um, went on, like who is going to pass from Group A?
yeah, so Group A, I think in the beginning, a lot like the seeds that when we first seeded the clans for the tournament, I think it was obviously very clear that the top seeds are the extreme strong clans, right? We've split them over various groups, and I think here I would say the I'm not gonna say the correct people, but I'll say at least like the most suspected clans that were appointed to go through based on seeding alone are also the ones that are going through in most cases. That's what we see in the bracket, right? Everyone can see the seed
Yeah,
originally from the clan and the clans that are going through on the bracket. So yes, the first one, EVSA and DODA are going through, leaving behind PSGM as a close third in the group. And yeah, I do believe I don't want to bring it up again, but we all know the very first game of PSGM versus EVS
it now
with the
decided
forest
this group.
fire.
By the way,
It, it,
it
it
decided
this
your group.
actually decided the group.
Yeah,
So props to EVS for that and making sure that they are the only one who managed to pull this off before it got addressed. But they did also topple DODA, which was also kind of a surprise
that
because
was a very big surprise. Yeah,
they did win 3-0, right? And
it was a
I think
convincing win, and
it was
even
a convincing win.
if you look at the first game, that was that was just a straight up win. Very convincing. I don't think we our team expected this at all.
Mm.
The second one was kind of a I don't know what happened there with DOD. I think that was in another universe a win for us, but EVS made an amazing comeback with the butterflies and stuff because I mean one of the players was erased from the map basically without that much of damage done to DODA, but then the butterflies were completely decimating
They're
Aboy.
killing all eco, yeah, left, right, and
Yeah,
center, yeah.
I think it was like one shotting five villagers, the butterfly, or something like that before the patch.
Basically a mini locust at that point.
Yeah, exactly. But EVS still played very well and managed to win. And then the third game, the debut of the legendary DOD Firefox that EVS tried to steal from us.
Sadly, it didn't amount to that much in the first game.
Sadly,
But
no.
I think yeah, we all know Firefox as an extremely good player. Like he's has like two accounts in the top six or something on the leaderboard.
Yeah.
So I don't think his skill is in question here. But he hasn't played many team games yet, right?
I think this was
That's
actually the
supposed
first. This was
and
the
that's supposed to
first.
probably change. So yeah, was this the correct play or was it the best debut? Probably not, but we need to get the people in, right? Like at some point they
Yeah,
need to be
yeah,
yeah, they need to make sure that they can also play the next games. And
yeah,
when we do, there will be more preparation.
exactly. But very
Group
nice to
B?
see Firefox play. Yeah, I was really happy he was there.
Mm.
Um, okay, so we have EVS A and DOD A passing through. PSGM A, unfortunately not. I think in the next season we will. We now know that there is some time to let people play, and people want to play, and they do a lot of effort to play. So maybe next season we can actually let them play like a best of three for passing through the group stage or something like that instead of taking the
Head to
match
head, yeah.
results. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's something for the next season to consider. Um, okay, then in Group B we have Keen and LFX passing
Yeah.
through, whereas Dot B unfortunately didn't.
Yeah, and again, the head-to-head kind of killed us there.
Yeah,
LFX played better games. We lost 2-1, and that made sure that the DODB unfortunately could
yeah,
not go on to the playoffs. But anyway, it's still well played from our guys. Also, one quick mention: we also took one game off Keen,
yeah,
just like
yeah.
Kant did. So I
Even
was very
Quad
happy
played.
with this.
Also nice to see
Yeah,
Quad playing in the tournament.
yeah, yeah. So I think that again, those were pretty much the highlights. Keen, we always expected to go through, obviously.
Yeah,
So LFX played really well. Again, they have Kajoku, the build order god. So we're expecting a lot of things from LFX
yeah,
in the playoffs as well.
yeah. Then Group C, we see UCA and GDM. Honestly, I did not expect UCA beating GDM 3-0.
Same.
Also,
And
the
I
games were
think
not that extremely close, I would say. Some of
no,
them were, but not that much as I
I
expected.
I was extremely surprised because, in my opinion, GDM came prepared with strategy. Right, we saw the
Yeah,
game with the blood pact on Nyan. It
yeah,
was all like, okay, I think GDM is going to do stuff. They were ready and prepared. But then I see, failure in execution, and
yeah,
not really shooting and scooting with some military
yeah,
units, losing units left, right, and center. And I think there, yeah, UCA was just like, oh, guys, we've been playing team games on every age of mythology since the dawn of time. We can just, play steady and win the race. And that's exactly what they did in all three games, basically.
yeah, exactly. Oh, I did
Also,
not.
also wanted to note though, on the Mirage map, it was a bit crazy with the dock shifting from the Chronos though. That on the opposite side of the fish. Just wanted to say that was an amazing play.
Yeah. UCA 15-0. They're
And playing tiebreakers versus
CBB.
the versus CBB.
Yeah. Going
But
to the
15-0.
CBB group, Group D, 18-0 CBB.
I guess everyone, we've seen it before. People talked about it. CBBA, are they the best team at this tournament? Supposedly so. We have not
I
seen
think
them.
so.
We've seen their games. They're smooth. I think the only struggle that they had was versus ITC, where they
Yeah.
could have lost. Maybe, right?
Yeah.
It didn't
That was,
happen.
I
But
think, the only
again,
struggle. Yeah.
that was their only struggle, in my opinion. And it, yeah, we need to tell this, like, KOK A, who were leaders of the group for pretty much the entire time in second place with CBBA, right? So the KOK was in second
Yeah.
place the entire time. But they did lose the head-to-head to ITC, and
Yeah.
ITC won their last few games, which now they are going through. So ITC yet again, maybe a dark horse threat that not a lot of people saw coming.
Yeah, I also didn't see this coming. I mean, they're seeded 13th, so it's not like they're seeded at the bottom, but still, I expected KOK to go through, seeded 5th. They're seeded
Yeah,
5th. And but also let's put this also a bit into context. In the ITC versus Cow games, KOK, Borg was not playing.
yeah,
That was a big mistake from KOK. I'm not
I
sure
think so
what
too.
happened there or whether it would matter. We also don't know that, right? But that was kind of a scheduling yeah, mistake, I would say, to show up in the actually the decider. That kind of decided everything, right? Um,
Exactly.
Showing up without one of the main players of KOK, because now, because ITC beat KOK, it's ITC that goes through because they have the same number of points. So yeah,
Yes.
so
Granted
we are,
also that Borg, we saw Borg play in the games before, and he was extremely, like, he was
yeah,
dominating in every
yeah,
game.
yeah.
So
exactly. So now we have the tiebreaker. So we have these 8 clans. I will repeat them again: EVSA, DODA, Keen, LFXA, UCA, GDM, CBBA, and ITC. So these are extremely strong clans. So it's going to be super fun to watch what they will do in the playoffs. But first, we are going to decide the seeding. So now the seeding is reset, and we are looking at who had the most points. If there are points, if there are similar amount of points between the same amount of points between certain clans, we they are playing a tiebreak. The first tiebreaker match was already played between EVSA
Yeah.
and Keen, and this was also extremely surprising,
Yep.
right?
EVS won the tiebreak.
Super close game and a super fun game where Keen actually was rushing with the blood packed Cyclops, but it failed. Also, some misuse of Undermine I saw, and it didn't go well as planned, I assume. But that was still very unexpected. And what should now be mentioned is that tiebreaker matches are played on the new maps, right?
And those new maps, well, thanks to, first of all, maybe we should give a word of thanks to DoD's Kries, who has
Yeah.
designed these fabulous maps. So, as J4 stated, we will be having new maps, and this was the first basically stress test of one of those new maps. They are going to be used in the playoff bracket as the decider map, just like we had decider maps in the group stages on the third map, and all third maps will also be now new maps that almost no one has played before because they're very, very new, with a special, I would say, treat that the spawn of teammates is now in normally as people, if you guys don't know, if you select your team, 3 people go team A, 3 people go team B, you all spawn on the same side and they all spawn on the same side and you vs each other. Now there can still be some placings, like placements of which player goes where in which corner, with whose pocket, etc. You can decide that by the colors, also explained in the rulebook. However, in the new maps, you will be spawned adjacently and with foe and enemy. So you're at all times you're surrounded by 2 opposing players. So you're somewhere in the middle, and 2 opposing players are, one is to your left, one is to your right. So it's very dangerous, and a lot of different things can happen. Now we've had extremely good feedback, right,
Yeah,
Danny,
everybody
on
likes
those
them.
maps.
Didn't receive any bad feedback about them, and some clients have played them like a lot of times. I know Keen has played them many times, like 20 times or something for the tiebreaker match, and also DODA and CBB, etc. So many have played these maps. We should also maybe explain how these maps originated. So, an issue that we had with Retold in general is that the maps seem kind of similar. They
And
seem,
stale. Yeah.
yeah. There is not much difference between the maps, except maybe at the highest level you start seeing them, but in the I didn't see much differences. So we thought, okay, let's make some new maps, and then in the Mythic Council, Automaton, who actually designed these maps, so it's actually his idea. Well, the logic of it is his idea, namely these alternating orders and this lake in the middle where one person is always doubled and stuff. Um, so these Automaton had this idea. Then we voted on many ideas that Automaton brought forward, and then Scray put them into work and actually made the maps. We are extremely grateful to everybody who participated in this process because the maps are really fun. They're really fun. They lead to actually adapting to the map, and not just, okay, I will follow a certain path that I've been following in the billion games before, and that's it. So that was really cool to see. We have some other tiebreakers, namely DODA is going to play a tiebreaker with GDM and LFXA. and also CBBA versus UCA to see who is going to be the first seed. The first seed will play against the last seed, so that's how it
This
works.
in these games that will be ITC probably.
Yeah, so indeed they will play against ITC in this case. Um, Also good to see is that I've been following all the Twitch, all the streaming and stuff, and some of the games had a lot of views, more than 100 and stuff. Um, also some of the streamers that have not been known that much are now receiving sizable viewership, which is I think expected as the group stages. The more you go further in the group stage, the more close the games
The games will
get.
be.
Yeah,
By the way, shout out to my man Stretch
yeah. Stretch has been doing
for
an amazing
streaming
job streaming
streaming a
everything.
shit ton of games, guys.
But also all the other
Uh,
streamers, like for instance, Blackadder has streamed
yep,
yesterday. I saw and had like 80 viewers on PSGM against FOM game. So this is also something to keep in mind that although FOM, Friends of Mythology clan, they were I think the last seed maybe or one of
yep.
the last, yeah, the last seed, and they haven't won any games, but still I hope they had fun and they received a lot of viewership. They could play competitively against the best clans. This is an opportunity also for these clans to participate in the wider competitive community. So not just for the top clans, and that's something to keep in mind also for the next seasons to all the clan leaders. Um, all right, so who do you think will win, Kries?
Hmm. I think, yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe I need to be fair, and I think currently, for me, CBBA is yeah. I don't think it's any secret. They have both Tunison and Mosca, super highly ranked and efficient players, can play all sorts of gods.
Yeah,
They've debuted that in their group stage games as well. They have an awesome team. They do have their preparation and do their due diligence. So they do play the maps. They have been already trying the new maps as well.
yeah.
They come up with good strategy, good defenses. I don't think they have not shown to me any real weakness
Yeah,
apart
that's
from
that's the
like,
thing. Indeed, they also play a lot together, so they
yeah,
do prepare for the games, which is maybe not that expected for such top players. But we also see the same for Keen. We see them playing a lot together and practicing a lot. They also have star players, right? Quoth, for instance, is playing in Keen. Now I must say that I did not expect EVS-A to perform that well. So we have no idea what will happen there. And DODA, of course, now we have lost VVSA, so we lost a bit of the fame there. But we now know what went wrong and are actively trying to fix it. So we are still trying, of course, to reach the playoffs, and I think we will also be a very good contender for the top spots.
I think at this point it becomes like quite hard to predict what's going to happen throughout the whole tournament, as the clans
Right?
that are now going through to the playoffs, they've all had they're all very strong clans, and now especially with also EVS dominating basically, probably also an extreme contender for the championship,
Yeah.
right? In Keen, and they even won the tiebreak. Like it's, I think now it's almost like a bit of a coin toss, if you will.
Yeah.
It's very hard to determine who wins who for the same reason. Maybe when you see UCA versus CBB, all of a sudden UCA will win CBB 3-0, and we're all like,
Possibly.
what is
We,
happening
we, we
here?
don't know.
We
We
have
don't know.
no idea. We have no idea. And then all our theory and
Yeah.
back channeling and thinking
Yeah.
who's has the dominant strategy all just falls down the drain. Like,
Oh, these are all smart players. Many 2Ks involved. Even the clans that finished second in their group. They know they have finished second. They know when a clan is perceived as better, so they can prepare for it. Do maybe some unconventional stuff. There are the new maps, which nobody really knows how they work properly, right? It's kind of new. People have been trying to get to the bottom of them, but they're still new. So a lot of things can happen here. So this will be very fun to see. There was this tier list, Chris,
Hmm.
made by
Yeah, we
actually
saw.
Grass, I think, but also Killuminati.
Yeah, the tier list in this case, there was a previous tier list. I think we also had that on one of our podcasts, which
Yeah,
was the clan tier list, which they did. But now they did an individual player team list, which they ranked all the players in different categories.
yeah.
Now I saw it. I guess you saw it as well. A lot of people also have viewed this tier list, and I think like the opinions are quite divided on this. I see Keen doing Keen things and putting every Keen player in S tier brackets for some reason. So I'm not sure about that one, guys. Let's be fair here. You did lose to EVS. Let that sink in for a bit.
To Kante,
Uh,
to
to count
Kante,
A, to dot B. Just saying,
to
maybe not put
DOTB.
everyone in S tier. But yeah, I think a lot of players are either misconstrued or they didn't really do a lot of research on these players as well. Like go to their profiles, go to the statistics, go to their like percentage win rates, and not just say, okay, this guy played 5 games, but he won all five. Maybe he's the best of the best of the best. I don't
Yeah.
know. Seems a bit strange. So I
What's
think
the
guys.
biggest? What is the biggest violation of our intelligence by looking at this tier list? What do you
I
think?
think there are. I think there are lots of violations, but for instance, come on, okay, we're all shitting on Darth Nox at some point, but putting in C tier
Yes,
is a bit
it's a
much, guys.
troll. It's a complete
Uh,
troll.
we also have okay, Ragnaroks from UCA might be what might be an extremely good player, but is it also really S tier? I don't
Especially in
know.
this tournament, Ragnarok hasn't
Especially in this
played that
tournament,
much,
yeah.
I think.
We've seen Zapata and etc. in B tier above like a lot of players from the like in the same like tier as DODA players. Like I'm not that sure on that as well. Sparks being in front of every DODA player except Apoy. When if you just look at the games
Yeah.
GDM played versus UCA, unsure about that one as well. We have a
Although
lot
this
of
was before those
unknowns.
games and directly
Yeah,
after
yeah,
they
yeah, yeah.
lost to EVS, so
Again,
people
yeah,
were like,
yeah.
"Oh, they lost to EVS," so it must be completely, yeah,
Yeah. But that's what we're saying, yeah, with this game. A lot of strange things, or like not maybe strange but unexpected things happened so far,
yeah.
and that skews the tier list maybe more than anyone could have predicted as well. I think if we go back to the S like F tier tournaments of 1v1, maybe people expected the Mista to win everything as well, right?
Yeah.
That also did not happen, so you never know until the games are played.
Yeah. I found the biggest violation of this tier list putting player after 2, 4, 6, 7, 9, 11, 13 players. What was that? What was that,
Yeah,
man?
I think they do this specifically because they haven't either played much versus him in many games, or because he hasn't like been top of the leaderboard
But
for
even if we
like a
look at
lot.
it objectively, it's 18-0 for CBB, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I do think indeed the Ragnaros is a great player, especially a team game player. I've played many games with him, but putting him on S tier in front of player is a long shot. He's very good in A tier, should be there, but player after 13
No,
players,
yeah, yeah. It's just strange. But yeah, I mean, it is in the end, Danny. It is a subjective tier list,
it
right?
is a
Anyone can
subjective,
play
yeah.
anyone.
But for
Yeah, I
instance, we
mean,
also have Quad there in the S tier. I mean, quad is quad, so automatically we think about the S tier. But why is he
he
there in this tournament? He has lost to DODB, no?
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
hasn't
That's
played
a
many
fair take.
games. Yeah, so maybe put him on unknown if you want, but S tier is a bit overrated, I would say, given that we saw a few games only and one of them was a loss, right?
Yeah. At least they did that with Firefox, right? They did that
Yeah,
correctly with Firefox. He doesn't play team games. He made his debut. He lost to EVS. They
yeah,
put him in the unknown, so I think
yeah, I
that's
think
okay.
that's reasonable. Okay, so it would be good to have some of these tier lists, but they do take quite a bit of time, though. So that's also something that we take into account. But it would be good that if
Yeah.
several other people made them also that are not so biased towards Keen.
Yeah,
uh,
maybe we can do also one, right? Maybe in one of our next podcasts, we can
exactly.
discuss if someone made one as well. After the
Yeah,
games have started. So,
yeah. Maybe also useful to show here that this tier list was posted in the new server made by Eric BR and the
hmm,
Keen people, Grass, and I think Flame is also administrator there.
yeah.
Maybe Regulate also, I can't remember. And this server serves a peculiar purpose. And normally, when we make servers, we make them well moderated or to serve a kind of a specific purpose which kind of doesn't include much banter, but this one is supposed to represent the old ESO expert chat, which was, yeah, quite peculiar, I would say,
And unmoderated, I
and
think. I think that is
unmoderated.
definitely an unmoderated.
Yeah, so it's a server where you can kind of post whatever you want. Now, this will, of course, repel many people. Uh, if you want the server to grow, it needs to be heavily moderated. We know that as DoD leaders. Um, that is a very proven strategy that works. So it will be, I think, it will be difficult to grow this server, but it serves a fun purpose where you can indeed discuss and have friendly banter about stuff. So people should really join it if they are into this kind of stuff. Um, it's also a bit different from the balance server, whereas balance server is mostly about balance. Here you talk about kind of anything. So yeah,
Think it's like it's good because people they recently I think a lot of server and including ours of course as you say it's moderated, but I think the point of this is more to vent, right? Especially for
yeah,
also higher ranked players or players who have been playing a lot of time since previous iterations of the game and also known each other for a long time. I think,
yeah,
like you say, there's a lot of banter and venting that you can do that you cannot do on other servers, and it's unmoderated. So yeah,
yeah.
you can just say and like go on a hot streak of flaming and then 5 minutes later apologize to people because you fall
Exactly.
down. It's not an issue there. So I think I like this idea because there's not many places to do it in a safe space, I would say,
Yeah,
because other people would take it immediately too seriously. And I think if you join that server, you need to know that what you're in for, right? Like
yeah,
you might get flamed for no reason, but you have to take it, and you can do the same. So
yeah.
it's okay. Like there, it's accepted.
At least it creates friendly rivalries, which
Mm.
are really missing in Retold so far in the 1v1 tournaments. That has really been missing.
And I think just to grow that into something more than just Age of Mythology, that has not been done for a long time. Like I myself, I am a fan of esports in general, and I watch, for instance, League of Legends, etc. And especially also like in Korean scene, North America, LEC, Europe, it doesn't really matter. Like even the two biggest teams, there used to be in the past, there used to be like banter videos where one team would challenge the other team and be like, "Oh, let's trash talk some," but that has recently it's none of that anymore. Everyone is just like, no, you have to stay very strict, very stoic, accept your loss with grace, and then all of that stuff. It's there's not enough like time or to have an outlet or to vent. And I think that's sometimes, yeah, it creates hype as well, you know, like
Yeah,
if someone is trash
yeah,
talking another team a bit just for the fun of it, and then they get proven wrong or something,
yeah.
it creates an insane hype.
It should remain friendly though. If
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah,
leads
of
to
course.
actual serious consequences, then we get into trouble with enrollment of clans and people not willing to participate and really flaming each other, and that leads to nothing. But if it is friendly, that's very fun, right? We may call out one of our opponents in the future. It is something. It is.
Wonder who that is.
We'll see, Chris. We'll see what we have in plan. All right. We are at the end of the podcast. Thank you all for listening. We are super excited to see what quarterfinals will bring. They will start on the 1st of June once we know the seeding, and then we will have 4 weeks of playoff games until the grand finals. The tournament is double elimination, so we really think that it will lead to the best team at the moment. Very
Yep,
exciting. Thank you,
I'm
Chris.
very happy. Yep, thank you. Have a good one, guys. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.